What's up guys, my name is Saib, and in this episode it's gonna be all about colors. We're gonna just go over every method or every color value that we can use in order to actually see colors in our canvas. So in the previous episode we used fill style and stroke style in order to actually apply colors to a shape or a lines or anything. So if I just called rect function in order to actually have a rect and to apply colors to it, so it can just say 50 and 50 for the starting point of the rect. Then I can give it a width and a height. Okay, a height of 100, and we have to use begin path in order to inform the canvas that a new shape is about to be drawn, so that it has its own line width and color, same as previous episodes. So now we need to call the stroke in order to actually see the shape. So if I called stroke, okay, that way, let's give it a line width. Five. Okay, now before in the previous episodes we used stroke style in order to change the color of the outline, and we used fill style to change the color of the fill color for the shape. So let's say that I want to change the color of the stroke style. So say that I want to give it a blue stroke. The same way goes to the fill. If I just want to call the fill style, and I give it this hex value saying FF00, which stands for red color, and then I have to call the fill to actually fill this shape. Okay, yeah, that's how we actually used to apply colors to a shape, either by changing the color of the stroke, in which is the outline, or the fill color for the shape. Okay, so today we'll be talking about the values that can be inserted for the stroke style or the fill style. Anything that is applied to the fill style can be applied to the stroke, since it's the same, nothing changes. But in this episode, I'm just gonna focus on the fill style. You can apply the same things to the stroke. So yeah, if we just kept this by default to go back to be black, which is black by default. Okay, so talking about fill style. The first thing that we actually use in the fill style is the color keywords, or what's known as the CSS color keywords, in which just simply, plain English, we can just say that if you want this to be actually blue, I just insert blue. If I want this to be light or sky blue, in which is lighter, or just sky blue, like that, we can go even to deep sky blue, and this will give us a different shade of the sky blue. Yeah, this is what's known as the CSS color keywords. You can actually, if you search for those, you can actually find them. So you can just say CSS color keywords, and you can actually see a list of them on this website, which is W3. Okay, now we can see all of the colors. You can say we can apply lime for it. If you just said lime in this one, you can gonna have the lime color. So yeah, that's one way of doing this. The other way is actually using the hex value, or what you've seen me doing this in the previous episodes. As I said, the hex value has 6 digits, which means 2 and 2 and 2, and each 2 represents a color, in which this one is red and this one is green and this one is blue. So the color that we actually want to do is a combination or of those 3 colors together, in which is the red, green and blue. Now the hex value takes a highest value of f, in which is 15 in decimal, or 0, which also stands for 0 in decimal. So if I want this to be pure red, I can just say ff, in which is the highest value for the red channel, or that's just the red value. Now I have this red color. If I want this to be green, I can just apply the ff for the green one. Yeah, like this, and I can just do the blue one again to actually get the blue. I can mix all of these 3, for instance, CC and or AA, in which to have just this random color, I can go with 8, for instance, like this, and I'm gonna have a different color. I can just say BB, which is 11 in decimal. So I can just say, yeah. So I can just mix all of these colors, and honestly, this is the way that we actually use colors in the canvas. It's the most common way that I usually use. So if we just search for the hex wheel color, so you can just say hex wheel color, for instance, you can find the color picker and the HTML color codes, and you just choose any color that you want and get the hex value out of it. So if, let's say that I want to have this purple color like this. I can just call this and apply it in here. Okay, and go back, just copy the space. See, we can have this exactly the same color. So yeah, this is a way of actually doing this. And we have now, let's go to the RGB, in which is the RGB function. Now this RGB takes 3 values. Each one stands for the red or the green or blue. So if I just said 0, 0, 0, this is going to give me a black one, because each channel represents how much of a shade for that color. Like if we have a color, then it's the combination as both the three colors and those channels. So if I just said that I want red, I can go with the highest value in the RGB format, in which is 255. When the least value is 0, so I can just call 0 again in here to go back again to black. If I just refresh that one. Okay, if I want a blue color, I can just go to 255, in which is the highest value for the red and least value for the red and green, or just the highest value for blue. So I'm gonna get the blue fill. Okay, this is a way. And we can also include the alpha channel, in which is for the transparency, or the alpha channel just takes a value from 0 until 1. 0 is full transparency, and 1 is full opaque, in which so it's like the clear version of the color. So I can just say 0.5. You can see that now we have a lighter or a more transparent blue, shade of blue. Or I can just say 0. You can see that it goes white, which is fully transparent. So yeah, we can just increase this as much as we want. And this is not the only way that we can actually apply the alpha or the transparency channel. So let's say that I want to go back to the RGB one. I have this blue shade. Now I can call the global alpha from the Canvas API in order to apply a transparency to the shapes. But the problem in this one is that, so if I just this one, is that it's going to be applied to all of the things in our canvas, all the shapes, all the texts, all the images, everything that is in our canvas is going to be more transparent if we actually apply the global alpha. So I can just say for the global alpha, I can have this 0.3 for instance. You're going to see that even the stroke now has a transparency. If I just said 0, you're going to see that nothing is applied to the stroke, since the stroke is since the global alpha is before the stroke. If I call this before the fill, you're going to see that even the fill is going to be fully transparent. Or I can just give it 0.5 to actually visualize this. Now both of these have 50% transparent value. So yeah. So I usually don't use global alpha that much. I can just go with the alpha channel in the RGBA, or something that is up to you and to use it. I can just say 0.5. Yep, that way. Okay, now there's also another way, in which is the HSL, which is the hue, saturation, and lightness. This is also another function, same as the RGB, but in the HSL we also have 3 values. The first one is the hue, and it's a degree. It's in degrees. That goes from 0 until 360. And we have the saturation and lightness and percentage, in which specifies how light and how saturated a color is. So if I chose a value from 0 to 360, let's say 200, and I want to be 40% saturated and 30% lightness. So I have these colors. We can actually play. The good thing about HSL is that we can go through a whole range of values just by changing one of these three values. Unlike the RGB, we have to change the whole values in order to actually change the color. So say that I have this saturated, now I have more of a gray shade. So yeah, we can also apply the alpha channel to this. We can, same goes to what's same as the RGBA. So yeah, these are all of the methods that we actually can use, or all of the color values that we can apply and use in our canvas. So usually you don't use the CSS keywords such as red like that, because they are web specific, which means that they only apply to browsers and webs. So you can either go with the hex, or you can go with the RGB or the HSL. It depends actually on you and what you're comfortable with. And yeah, I think that is everything that you need to know about filling with just a certain one color. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.